I want to save you from a potential bug that you may encounter in your programs using the n keyword. So let's set up an example scenario. We could do multiple scenarios, but for this one, we're going to go with a string. Let's say we had a program that has a bunch of names in a database. And in that database, someone could put a 3-letter abbreviation of their name and do something with it. For our example case, we'll create a name variable storing the name Tommy. And this person decides to use Tom to be their 3-letter abbreviation. So for our program, we need to verify if Tom is in the actual name that they're trying to compare it to. If we find that the Tom part is in the name, then we'll print out I found Tom, else we'll print out we didn't find it. Now, if we run this, it'll say I found Tom. There's no issues, right? It looks like this code is great, but there is an issue with this code. What if somewhere in our program there was some magic happening where our name variable changed to none? Then we use the n keyword on a null type. Well, that will cause you a type error. Now, yes, a simple way to solve this would just be to check if it's not none and then check if the variable is in that name. But let's take it a step further, because you still can run into issues if that variable is not a string. We can wrap our variable with a string conversion, but this doesn't really fully solve our problem. Yes, we can run this and it works just fine. Now we see that the none type is now a string, but that does still cause another issue. A very rare issue, but still an issue. So to demonstrate this issue, we need to print out two things. First, let's print out the name and the type of the name, and then we'll also print out the string version of the name along with the type of the string version of the name as well. If we run this, you see that we get none and none type, and then we get none and then string type. So what's going on is that the string conversion type is doing what we told it to do, and it's converting it to a string, but that will cause a rare issue, and I'll show you why. Let's rewrite our example using Nanya as the name, right? And let's say Nanya actually uses non as the 3-letter abbreviation to check for. We're converting the type of none to a string, so if we check for non, that non is in none. So this would actually cause an issue. Granted, this is a very rare issue, a very rare case that you would actually have that, but in a case where you're checking for data that you do not have the control over, this could be an issue because someone could put non and that would cause this issue. So at least for the example that we set up, the best way to handle this one is just to check if it's not none first, then check if the 3-letter abbreviation is in our string converted name variable. The reason why we're doing string is just to keep it from crashing. Now you might be thinking, well, since we're checking for none, we don't really need the string part, do we? We can skip the whole type conversion, right? Well, no. For our specific example, what if someone actually changed the name to an integer because they just wanted to put integers for their name, their numbers? I don't know if people actually have numbers as their name, so I do not want to say that people cannot have numbers for their name. So if they put in specifically numbers for their name, well, that would give you another beautiful type error. So using string, it should for the most part save you from almost every type error you could think of. Probably not all of them, I'm probably missing one, but at least from what I can think of at the time of making this video, this should save you. Now in a real program, of course, you would want to actually control what the user can put in. So if your program wasn't meant to handle integers, then of course you would want to specify that they cannot enter integers in like an error message or something on their screen. All right, so if you liked the video, definitely hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you really enjoy the content. I'll try more to put out daily content as best as I can. And I always like to add in at the end, if you saw something that I did wrong or something that you could have done better, definitely leave it in the comment section below for the community because we are all growing together.